With us, Coach Kim Furlough, Northern Guilford Nighthawks. Nighthawks getting set for a big game against Jacksonville on Saturday. What does it mean to the team to get back there for the third straight year? It's been a building process, but it's all paid off.
It has paid off, and we just kind of still shaking our head. Can't believe that we're actually going back there for the third time, but very excited. Just excited as we were the first time we went.
And you faced the same team last year, Jacksonville, in the regional finals. Will you see some of the same girls on their team this year?
We will. They did graduate quite a bit, but for the most part, their top scorers, they're all back.
You know, Coach Guidry talked a little bit about it's harder to put her press on a bigger court. I guess a college court maybe 94 by 50 versus a high school court sometimes 84 by 50. But she said, do you still expect that kind of pressure for them on Saturday?
We do, and most of the high schools, like ours is 94 feet,
yep,
so we're used to that. But I think that's their game. They press, so I fully expect to see that.
Talk about what your role is going to be on Saturday as a coach as you approach that game. You're going into it. What's that role going to be like for you?
I think my role is just to keep the girls focused, and we talk a lot about just losing yourself in the game and just focus on what's going on the court, and not everything, all the other hoopla that goes along with it. But we just try to. That's my job, is to keep them grounded.
It's a crazy game in some ways, too. Some games you just get the kids ready for the game and just go out and let them play. By the time they get there, so they practice hard, they work hard, they should be ready. But basketball is a little bit different because you got to make changes on the fly. You got to make adjustments. So it's quick decisions, quick choices, and a lot of split seconds involved.
Right. And we really try to prepare for everything we think we might see. And truly, at this point in the season, we've seen about it all. So we just feel like we just review everything that we need to and get ourselves as most prepared as we can be.
You got an excellent team, but this team in a lot of ways too has played through a lot too over the past. Sometimes there have been injuries, sometimes players have had personal things bother them, but there's been a lot of things you played through. Even yourself, good gosh, you were walking around on had a little scooter helper where your foot or leg going bad. So you've been through it yourself. You've been through the treatments. You've been through a lot of things. This team has done a good job of working through it all.
Yeah, they are, and that's just the way they are. They're so unselfish, and they're always there for each other, there for the coaches, vice versa. I mean, we're just truly a family here.
Talk about, I asked the girls about this, your career in your own words. What's it been like? I mean, you've been the only coach, from my knowledge, that Northern Guilford's only ever had. The only women's girls basketball coach the school has had over the years. You were at Southeast before that. What's it been like, your career in your own words? There's got to be a lot of satisfaction, but there's probably some other things, too, you're still looking for.
It's been very satisfying. I am the only coach that's been here. We're in our 11th year now, and we started out with just freshmen and sophomores, and I knew it was my job to build the program. So going to the state championship 3 times, I feel like I've done a pretty good job with it, I guess, but certainly not by myself. I've got great assistants. I got great support, period, and you got to have that to make it all happen.
Crazy thing is that first year you lost. Sometimes you lose. It's like disappointing, but you probably gained a lot in that first year you went in that loss.
We did. I think that helped us more than anything. Just knowing what it takes to get there to the state championship, and then what it's like when it's there, because it's all different. The starting lineups are different. The atmosphere is different. It's just a whole different game.
That first year was kind of like a lab in some ways. You had your lab work, and you came back the next work and got the finished product.
Exactly, yeah.
And you got to do that again. What's it going to take to win Saturday, beating Jacksonville again?
We got to stay composed against their pressure. They put a lot of pressure on you, full court, half courts. They're relentless, and we respect that. We respect them. We just got to play our game and focus on what we need to do and to keep ourselves composed and able to score.
I'm going to let you go and to close the word. So how would I close out this interview? I would close it like this, going back to the old days at Pleasant Garden Methodist Church, as I do many times. I think Don Schumann would be proud.
Oh, thank you.